From the second you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, they're right there with you. They help you connect, work, play, pretty much organize your entire life. Yep, I'm talking about apps. They live on our phones, and today we're going to take a peek under the hood and see how these things are actually made. No, really, think about it for a second. That little icon you tap to order a pizza or check the weather, that's the end result of an idea, a design, and a whole lot of code. So, how does that little spark of an idea become a real working program in the palm of your hand? All right, let's dive in and find out. So, before we get into the nuts and bolts of building things, let's make sure we've got a solid blueprint. What is an app when you strip away all the slick icons and cool animations? At its heart, an app is just a software program, right? But it's built specifically for a smart device. And that's the key. See, unlike software that just sits on your desktop computer, mobile apps are designed for a life in motion. They're meant to use your phone's camera, your GPS, and that touchscreen in ways a computer just can't. And this is where that difference gets super clear. Desktop programs like Microsoft Word are these big, complex things built for a mouse and keyboard. Mobile apps, on the other hand, they're downloaded from a central app store and they're designed from the ground up for touchscreens and all the cool little sensors inside your phone. Now, these apps don't just float around in thin air. They have to live somewhere, right? And in the mobile world, there are basically two dominant kingdoms that rule the entire land. On one side of this digital world, you've got Android. That's Google's operating system, and it runs on a massive variety of devices from all sorts of manufacturers. And on the other side, you have iOS, which is Apple's very tightly controlled ecosystem for iPhones and iPads. These two platforms, they're the foundation that nearly every single mobile app is built on. I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it like this. Each of these kingdoms has its own unique language, its own culture, and its own set of laws. An app that's written in the language of Android won't just magically run in the kingdom of iOS, and it doesn't work the other way either. This is a huge deal, because it's why developers have to decide, do we build for one kingdom, the other, or try to tackle both? So, after a developer picks a kingdom, they have to make another big choice. See, not all apps are built the same way. They actually come in three main flavors. And this decision, it impacts everything from how fast the app feels to how you even get it on your phone in the first place. Okay, this table breaks it all down, and it's all about trade-offs. First up, you have native apps, like WhatsApp or your phone's camera. These are built for one specific platform, which makes them super fast and lets them use all your phone's features, like the GPS or camera, really well. The big downside, you have to build and maintain two completely separate apps to be on both Android and iOS. Then you've got web apps, which are basically just websites that are designed to look and feel like an app. You don't install them, you just go to them in your browser. The catch is, you almost always need an internet connection. And finally, you have hybrid apps, like Instagram or Gmail. These guys try to be the best of both worlds. You download them from the App Store like a native app, but they're built using web technologies on the inside. This makes it way easier for developers to build for both kingdoms at once, but sometimes you sacrifice a little bit of performance. All right, so we've got the tech side down. We know the kingdoms and the flavors. But what are people actually building with all this stuff? Let's take a quick, lightning-fast tour through the huge world of app categories. So probably nobody's surprise, gaming is king. It completely reigns supreme. Get this, gaming apps make up over a third of all downloads. That's massive. But beyond the world of play, there are a few other huge categories that pretty much define our digital lives. Like, of course, the social connectors. These are the digital town squares where we all share our lives, connect with family, and stay in touch with our professional networks. And then you've got the organizers. These are all the productivity tools, the calendars, the note takers, the to-do lists, all designed to bring just a little bit of order to our chaotic, busy lives. And finally, the entertainers. Apps like Netflix and YouTube, basically built to be a nonstop stream of videos, music, and content right on our screens. When you look at them together, these categories really are the heart of the entire app economy. Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. We know what apps are, where they live, the different kinds you can find. But now for the most exciting part. What if we shifted our thinking from just being a user to actually being a creator? This right here is the MIT App Inventor. It is an incredible and totally free tool built on this idea of no-code development. It's designed to let anyone, and I mean literally anyone, build their own working Android apps without having to learn a single line of complicated code. And getting started is as easy as just going to a website. Seriously, you just log in with a Google account, and in probably less than a minute, you are looking at a blank canvas, totally ready to create your very first project. It's that simple. Once you're in, this is what you'll see, the designer view. Just think of this as your digital canvas. You can literally drag and drop all the pieces of your app right onto the screen. Buttons, text boxes, images, whatever you want. This is where you decide what your app is going to look like. But how do you make it do anything? Well, for that, you switch over to the Blocks editor. This is the control room. Instead of typing out code, you just snap together these colorful blocks that look kind of like puzzle pieces. Each block is a command or an action. It's like building with digital Legos to bring your app to life. For example, let's say you want to make a button that talks when you press it. It's just 3 little steps. First, you grab the When button click block. That's your trigger. Second, you snap in the Speak action block right inside it. And third, you just type in whatever you want it to say. And that's it. You've just programmed a function. It's pretty amazing. So there you have it. In just a few minutes, we've pulled back the curtain on the apps we use every single day. We've seen the rival kingdoms they live in, the different flavors they come in, and even how you can start building one for yourself right now. The tools to turn an idea into an app are easier to get to than they have ever been. You've seen the blueprint. So the only question left is, what will you create?